Hey there, welcome back, I'm the Fanatic, and in today's episode, we're doing something we probably should have done a while ago, but apparently I've forgotten to do it, so we're going to do a scouting report on Paolo Banchero. Of course, I'm butchering his name, but we're not going to talk about that. No. See, with him making it to the Final Four, it just seems like a good time to talk about him. Obviously, his draft stock could become overinflated by playing on a team that's doing so well in such a worldwide televised set of games and tournament. And when you look at any clutch situation in March Madness, sort of gets overvalued, especially with draft stock, where everything I was saying about Jalen Suggs, nothing against Jalen Suggs, he's a great player, but he shouldn't have gone over Evan Mobley, and he shouldn't have gone over Cade Cunningham. And thank God he didn't. No. See, even with Scotty Barnes, if we're just looking back on it now, everyone thought that Scotty Barnes was going to go after Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs was like a lock. This man's going to be the 4th pick in the draft. And then it was like, but Scotty Barnes is better. And looking back on that, that was the right decision, but at the time, we were all very surprised because we were like, hey, what are you talking about? This man, he deserves to be there. Whatever. The thing is, though, that, those big shots and big moments and tournament games and everything, they sort of overvalue, they inflate your draft stock so you go above where you normally would. And now, looking at this, we have a couple other things that we want to look at, though, because obviously he's not a bad player. You're not projected to be a potential top 5 pick unless you're a really, really good player. And he is. But he has a couple concerning things about him. For example, his defense. His defense is not looking great, despite his overabundance of physical tools with speed and strength and all sorts of different kinds of athleticism. But, he really isn't a smart enough defender right now. Especially his paint defense, with how easily he's getting scored on in the inside the paint. You look at things like that, and he could potentially be a minus on the defensive end in the future as he moves on to later parts of his career, especially once he no longer has those physical tools, but that would, of course, assume that he has a long career in the NBA to get to that point, and in which case he might just retire anyway. But there are a couple other things we need to look at, Obviously, he has a lot of pluses to his game, too. You look at his scoring ability, really. His ability to score from all 3 levels. He's got a decent three-point shot. He's got a really nice mid-range game and pull-up jumper. You look at his handles, and they're way better than you'd expect for someone of his size at his age. You look at things like that, where he can score on the ball, he can score off. He's a very competent playmaker. He's not great, he's not amazing, but he's certainly not bad. And you look at other things like that, it's just all sorts of adds up. Now, obviously, his rim running ability, he doesn't have too many moves once he's in the air. He doesn't have the best sort of hang-time decision-making, but he's got all sorts of tools to get it done. He's got the strength to slam it on anybody, and he's got the speed to blow by anybody. Again, though, it's really just, hey, he gets smarter, he gets more used to playing basketball, he gets more used to playing at higher levels, he gets more used to the way he's being guarded. It'll become so much easier for him. Especially with NBA level training will help with that. It's another reason why I don't really worry about his defense at this point, because he can become a competent defender, like Darius Garland became a competent defender. If y'all remember, Darius Garland was like the worst defender in history at one point. Yeah. Anyway, see, that's something that like doesn't matter to me too much with point guards nowadays, or not just point guards. It's not something that matters to me in basketball too much nowadays, because we look at it and it's like, hey, these players aren't competent defenders. They're really, really bad, and most of the times we're wrong, or those players develop into competent defenders. But there's always somebody new to pick on, so we never get called out for it. Like Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas was not this terrible defender that everyone thinks he was. He was a better defender than Trae Young, Steph Curry. Like, statistically speaking, he got it done on defense. He was still, don't get me wrong, he was still a bad defender, but he wasn't bad enough on defense to justify not wanting everything he gave you on offense. Does that make sense? I mean, we use that argument with why we let Steph Curry stick around, and why we let Trae Young stick around, and why we let Darius Garland stick around, and why we let James Harden stick around for a little bit. Because, yeah, we seriously made arguments about James Harden being a bad defender. I don't really understand that one, especially looking at steal numbers, but whatever. Moving on. I mean, I get it, like, defensive plus minus isn't great, and he lets out up clutch shots. See, that's one of our problems, is like a full fan base. Us as NBA fans, without something that we have a problem with. Because we look at something and we're going to make it takes that are just totally bullshit. Like, we say that James Harden isn't a clutch player because he's never won a championship. And we say things like that. Like, y'all know that we thought LeBron wasn't a clutch player for the first, like, 10 seasons of his career. We said that Michael Jordan was better because LeBron always failed in the clutch. Which, if we're being honest, he kind of did. If we look at the fact that he had to get his ass saved by Ray Allen. Just saying. But you look at other things too, and it's like, James Harden has made some really big plays, and he's just never had enough help. Same with, like, Damian Lillard, which I really don't understand, because Damian Lillard, he does the same things that James Harden was doing, and he doesn't win either. What's the difference we're putting here between James Harden and Damian Lillard with what they did? Off topic. But my point is that we sort of create these bad narratives around players that make no sense, and, well, they make some sense in the moment, but they always get proven wrong, and we always get to see that NBA level development can basically fix anything as long as you have the tools and dedication to do so. We look at all the big shot experience from this tournament that Paolo's getting, and yeah, he's going to come into the NBA with the ability to lead a team in terms of mindset. I don't know if he has the tools yet or skill set yet as a player to lead a team, but he definitely has the experience that he's getting right now. And if he loses this tournament, he's going to be young and hungry. He's going to want to prove everybody wrong that he should have won that tournament. And that's a pretty big thing, you know, looking at it. It's like, this man is deprived of a ring, and he wants to make sure he gets it. Anyway, moving on. Once he sort of develops that into an NBA mindset, and then you combine that with his offensive skills, and if he has some, like, Nikola Jokic, James Harden type development with his defense, then, you know, he'll be a decent defender at least, and that'll really round out his game. He won't really have a weakness, so he'll be very strong. To me, he projects as a guy that has DeMar DeRozan potential, but with a lot less defense. Just the way DeMar can shoot threes, and he likes to operate in the mid-range, and he's got good playmaking, but nothing spectacular. And he's got... See, that's something I don't think either, because I feel like he has the potential to have that sort of DeMar DeRozan type of rim running, but I don't feel like it's ever going to get there. I feel like it can get there, but I don't feel like it's going to. Anyway, this video was sort of ranty. That's going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.